I like ghost stories. I like to narrate ghost stories. This is about the Ardmore Boulevard ghosts. The Ardmore Boulevard ghost speaks to spirits that are reported to reside in a house on Ardmore Boulevard, a respected and beautiful section of Los Angeles. It is a broad street with expensive homes on both sides for a distance of several miles north and south. The owners of the house insisted they remain anonymous and are known only to the investigator and to Mrs. George Kern, who is head of the American Society for Psychic Research in California. Helen L. was the occupant of the house and sent the investigator a letter which stated, "I live in a haunted house and I do need help desperately. I have heard a terrible struggle and fight in the middle of the night when I have gotten up to go to the bathroom. The other night I was reading in bed and smoking a cigarette. It was about 9:30 and I was completely engrossed in my book. Suddenly, I would say about a couple of feet to my right, a champagne cork popped loud and clear. Then I heard champagne being poured in a glass. I saw nothing, yet heard it all. And the horror of it all is it all took place right beside me." The investigator asked for the history of the house, which Helen L. provided. The house was bought 38 years previous when it was built when her widowed mother and her 2 daughters moved in. The other daughter was mentally challenged. Due to poor finances, they rented out the house and lived elsewhere. There were 5 different tenants over 5 years, with one of the tenants being a violent person, and the police had been called to the house during that time. Helen L. and the family then moved back to the house, and paranormal tappings began to happen. During World War II, Helen L. was married, and it ended in divorce, and she met and lived with another man at the house, during which time they both heard sounds. A number of times Helen felt that she was being held down in bed by unseen forces, and felt her face being pushed into a pillow in an attempt to suffocate her. Many times was heard the sound of a violent struggle in the house and wailing, crying noise in the house. The house was visited by the investigator and a medium, and it was suggested that Helen herself may be clairvoyant and that her presence may be allowing these clairvoyant occurrences to happen. This was then discounted as events continued even when Helen was away from the house for extended periods of time. It was reported that the spirit of a child, either female or a boy with feminine characteristics, sensed. It was reported that Philip Stengel died in the house in 1934, and in 1948 a murder had occurred at the house when 2 men had violently quarreled. It was thought there are 3 ghosts in the house: a man, woman, and the teenage child. It was attempted to remove what was thought the spirit of the evil man from the house, but this was not entirely successful. It was felt that Helen herself may be the cause of the manifestations, but she would not accept this. The hauntings still occur at the Ardmore Boulevard Ghost House. Thank you.